Call of Duty used to be the gaming franchise, the game that everyone played, everyone argued about, and everyone bought every single year whether they liked it or not. It was a cultural moment every November, with millions of players lining up for midnight releases, map pack hype, and just showing up for the community side of things. Everyone was there, everyone was in for it, and everyone did it. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Not all at once, not a single update, or not even a single release. It just died slowly, piece by piece, through decisions that chipped away at the fun, the identity, and the trust. That made Call of Duty what it was. So, we're going to dive in today to every major problem that led to the downfall of the franchise. Some of these issues are design issues, corporate greed, and straight up insanity, but all of them brought Call of Duty to its knees, which is where it is today. So buckle up, because this is a full autopsy of Call of Duty. Let's start with the big one. Skill-based matchmaking, or SBMM. Skill-based matchmaking used to be simple. It was like balancing, protected new players, fine. But the modern version is not SBMM, it's EOMM. The game literally monitors your performance, your mood, your weapon choices, your KD, and then deliberately manipulates your matches. Play well? Oh, you must want sweaty lobbies and demon kids who move around like they're on crack. Play poorly? Ah, he's a free bot. Please don't close the game. I want you to stay on it, so I'm going to give you an easy game. It just kills the casual fun and turns every match into a ranked sweatfest, and it just completely erases the classic COD experience. Have you noticed in the modern COD era, you're up and down all over the place? Back in the day, if you were good at the game, you were just good at the game. Nowadays, it feels like you can play 3 games and be the best, and then you get absolutely destroyed for the next few games, and it's so all over the place. Nobody asked for this. The game is fake, and it feels engineered. But that brings me into something else that's kind of related. Skill-based damage and time to kill inconsistency. Now, there's this whole conspiracy about, does skill-based damage exist? There's been plenty of proof to prove that it does, okay? But gunfights where your bullets evaporate, time to kill that changes from one match to the next, people have literally shown hit marker delays, servers ignoring bullets, and fights that simply feel rigged. Is it lag compensation? Is it EOMM manipulating outcomes? Or is it just bad netcode? At this point, it doesn't matter. Players just know gunfights aren't consistent anymore. And nothing kills a shooter faster than gunfights you can't trust. If you're going into one map and you're 3-bulleting, 4-bulleting, and then the next map you're taking 10, there's definitely something going on there. And the time to kill just... It feels very different game to game. Oh yes, the hackers. Somehow, Call of Duty has had a built-in aimbot detector since 2009, and yet the game is like a public library for cheaters. Ricochet was marketed like a superhero. Instead, it's more like a mall cop with a broken whistle and his pants pulled down. Warzone especially became a full-on hack fest. It's so bad you can actually predict the progression of a Warzone match. Loot, rotate, get sniped by a guy whose bullets curve like they're studying physics in Hogwarts. So, it doesn't really make sense that something was so good so many years ago, and now it's at a point where it's so bad that you can't even get away from it. I will say that Black Ops 7 so far has had a very good start with the hackers and the cheaters. So, that is maybe on the up. But if you go and look at the last 6 years, it was running rampant to the point where you couldn't even go in a game and get a kill without suspecting this guy was cheating. Bad weapon balancing. Weapon balancing feels like it's tied to the bundle store, honestly. A strong gun gets nerfed within a week, unless it's a $20 blueprint, then it stays broken just long enough to coincidentally boost sales. Every season is a new, coerced meta. You're not playing COD, you're basically playing Activision monetization. So, I mean, this just goes back to most of the COD games over the last probably 10 years, really. And there were OP guns back in the day, of course, but specifically now, it feels like every single gun either has inconsistent damage, they're way too overpowered for the range they should be, or they're underpowered for the range they should be. It doesn't feel like the game is tailored to play around the weapons themselves. For example, if you have an SMG, that SMG should be killing people at close range, but not very effective at long range. If you go back and play Call of Duty World at War, you cannot map someone with an MP40. But on these games, you can map people with most pistols and subs. It doesn't really make sense, and I don't understand why the weapon balancing is such a massive, consistent issue in the game, and it really causes a lot of problems for the players that just want to enjoy the game and play through different guns. Lackluster kill streaks. Remember the AC-130, the Chopper Gunner, the MW2 Harriers? Those streaks literally changed matches. People would grind and grind and grind to get better, just to be good enough to get one of them streaks. Now we get a cardboard cutout UAV, airstrikes that hit the wall next year. Nothing feels powerful, nothing feels iconic. The only recent exception was Black Ops 7's improvements, honestly. But one good year isn't enough to fix a decade of meh. I mean, you think of most kill streaks just didn't feel very powerful in the last 10 years, probably. They didn't feel worth getting, and it was kind of lackluster. As for today with Black Ops 7, I will say, getting the wraps, getting the VTOL, it feels overpowered and it feels good to get, which it should be. When you go on such a big kill streak and play well, you should be rewarded, and the OP-ness should be there. Obviously, one game ain't going to fix everything that happened, and I think a lot of people, especially in that mid to good tier bracket of player, kind of got annoyed with it because they weren't able to be rewarded for playing exceptionally well. Oversaturated attachments and too many settings. Loadouts used to be simple. Pick a gun, pick 2 or 3 attachments, and go. Now, it's kind of just a mess. To fix recoil, you have to do this, and this barrel speed changes ADS speed by 0.2%, but does lower sprint speed by 0.0.0.0.05. It's homework. Call of Duty turned into a gunsmith tax exam. Okay? And the settings menu, it's literally an encyclopedia. You need a PhD in FOV to be able to understand it. It just feels like... I mean, if you take my personal preference, I miss Black Ops 2, greatest Call of Duty of all time, but look at the attachments. You had a pick 10 system, which was perfect, it worked, it means you had to make sacrifices for things you wanted, and the playstyles were all different. But on top of that, you had very limited attachments, which kept it balanced. Now, people have to go through 20,000 attachments to look at the 0.1 difference and do all this different research on each attachment. And then the settings, I mean, it's not quite as bad as Battlefield 6, but there's a lot of settings in the game that a lot of people don't understand. They don't even, like, they're not necessary. You remember the old Call of Duty settings? It was basic. You didn't need all that. And look, if you're playing on PC, yes, you need a few more with the graphics and stuff, but having this many is just crazy to me. I mean, even the sensitivity values, they changed them to the point systems, the decimal points. I just think... yes, okay, it gives you more control, but it unnecessary. I think having very limited and basic settings that make the gameplay and everyone on the same even playing field is just where it needs to go back. Netflix UI and no changes for 6 years. The UI hasn't changed literally since 2019. Everything looks like Netflix, a giant storefront, endless squares with ads, and... okay, yes, it's not as bad in the modern games compared to what it was like 5-6 years ago, but they didn't build this UI for players. They built it for monetization. It's not a game menu, it's a digital mall, right? It's a store. That's literally what it is. If you go and look from 2019 all the way to today, the multiplayer menu hasn't changed. The campaign menu hasn't changed. The zombies menu hasn't changed. It's identical across the board because they don't want to put the effort in. Now, some people say, oh, but the game plays well. Like, let's say the game plays well. Yeah, and that's great, but in my opinion, wouldn't you want to just put a little bit extra effort in and change? Look at Black Ops 6 and 7. If they just change the menu to be completely different, make it its own, people are going to praise it for the fact that they're actually trying. It shows the effort level. But no, we're stuck with the same Netflix UI, with this digital storefront every single year. Bundles and broken collaborations. Let's talk bundles. And honestly, I'd rather not, but every time you log in, there's 27 new bundles. Well, they've just literally appeared out of thin air while you were sleeping. $20 operator skins, $20 tracer packs, anime, Snoop Dogg, bloody Shrek, Godzilla, Spawn, Lara Croft, Nicki Minaj. All these crazy things that should not be in the game. It's literally become Fortnite. Fortnite hit the ground running and exploded with popularity and probably made loads of money, right? So Activision, being money greedy people that they are, decided, let's try and copy their recipe. And then now you have Ninja Turtles running around the map with Beavis and Butthead, and, you know, it's crazy to me. Half of these collaborations completely destroy COD's atmosphere. You're fighting on a grounded military map with some guy in a bright pink, skin-shaped, like, medieval frog tries to bunny hop you, and it's like, is this the same franchise that I grew up playing? Like, it doesn't feel like it. It just completely takes away that experience of playing a combat game in general. Seeing anime characters and Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj doing stuff. And the thing is, I don't mind basic ones, like the Snoop Dogg voiceover in Ghosts. Things like that. They're cool, but it's gone beyond cool and it's gone to insanity. Let's copy Fortnite. It's literally gone down that road for the last 6 years. Campaigns used to be legendary. MW2, BO1, World at War, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. You know, you can think of all of them campaigns and find a mission that you remember that was so goated that you loved. Now they're a 4-hour AI-generated podcast. Cutscenes that literally are longer than the gameplay. Short, uninspired, and forgettable. Black Ops 6 helped a little bit, but, you know, the damage was done years ago. The Black Ops 6 campaign wasn't too bad. It had a few good things, but it was still taken away from that Modern Warfare 3 thing that they added of the open missions. And Black Ops 7 just came out, and the campaign is the worst campaign in history. And that's not just coming from me. That's coming from all over the world of people playing it. So, why? Well, honestly, I don't think they care enough to put enough effort into the story writing. They don't want to hire good story writers. They don't want to make the campaign good. And, quite frankly, now they don't have the casual gamers who just like the campaign of Call of Duty to fall back on and say, oh, well, we can at least tailor to these. You've now lost that opportunity because of how bad Black Ops 7's campaign was. It's quite sad, and I think players are now understanding and feeling fed up with the storyline going downhill each year. No difference between games anymore. Modern Warfare 2019's success created a template, and quite frankly, they've been copy and pasting it ever since. Same animation, same UI, same gun sound, same movement. Even MW3 2023 was literally a $70 DLC. Now, I will say it was 1,000% better than Modern Warfare 2, but we had to pay $70 and buy it as a full game. COD's lost its identity, and everything feels like the same product with new stickers. I mean, Black Ops 6 and 7, again, it looks similar, it feels similar, because it is the same game, just they've tweaked and changed things that we should have got with Black Ops 6. People are now understanding, and this is a big reason why players are leaving the franchise, is why should we pay $70, £70, francs, euros, whatever, Canadian dollars for that matter, and get a game that is very lackluster and it sucks, it's very sucky. But then the next year, they're like, okay, we're going to give you the new game. But it's the same. But we've changed two things. People don't want to do that. People don't want to buy a game. And I always reference this. My favourite time in COD, whether you like the games or not, was one of the biggest things was the difference each year between Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, World War 2, and Black Ops 4. That massive span of games where every game was different. So different. They felt so different, and it was such a nice, refreshing thing to do each year. Whether you like the games or not, the games were different. It doesn't feel like that anymore because they've lost their identity, and they just want to keep everything the same with that template. Because 2019 did really well, and it only did really well because of COVID, because of lockdown, and Warzone. It was the only things that really kept that game afloat, so they've decided, let's just keep with that with everything we do from now on. Technical failures. Private matches have literally always been broken for, 5-6 years now. Private matches are essential for content creators, competitive players, and friends. And yet, every single year, they are broken. Crashing, missing guns, disabled perks, bug spawn systems, game crashes. Like, how is this still happening? Every year we tell you about the bugs, you say, oh, we've addressed it, and then you break something else. And on top of that, theater mode doesn't work. It's a basic feature in a way. Halo had it in like 2007 or something. You know, Black Ops 1 had it and it was perfect. Black Ops 2 still to this day has the best theater mode in any game as far as I'm concerned. You can go and watch games you saved from 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and watch them live and podcast them. Next level. But we can't do that in this day and age. It makes no sense. Modern COD, it's broken, it's corrupted, you can't spectate proper people, you can't get up the scoreboard, it's missing soul and heart, and I mean, for a franchise filled with content creators, it is unforgivable that theater mode and private matches physically aren't usable anymore in the majority of the game. Most of the game is patches because they're trying to fix what they broke, and they end up breaking something else. I think players have just had enough of getting more and more broken updates every single week. Update requires restart. This line might be the most iconic meme in COD history. It's been a meme for over a decade, near enough, at this point, and somehow still exists. It's a part of the experience now, like coaster before roller coaster. Just not a good one. And everyone knows that painful feeling when you boot up the game, you're excited to play, and then it does a loading player, whatever it says, update requires restart. and then you've got to restart the whole game, and because it's through the COD HQ app, it's gonna take a long time to get yourself actually into a game, which, yeah, I think has severely impacted how a lot of people play the game, because most people, I think, get annoyed, but there are people that go, oh, this is taking too long, I can't be bothered, quit the game, and then they don't end up playing. So, yeah, update recovery restart, a very consistent big problem that it has been, especially on PC for the last few years. Can't play offline. This one is criminal. You buy a $70 game, you own the disc, and the game still refuses you to let you play the campaign or multiplayer offline. Servers go down, too bad. Your ownership's fake. How do we go from 20 years ago where we could all play offline, 10 years ago we could all play offline, and then in the last 7-8 years they've said, oh, everything has to be online now. You can't, you know, I mean, Minecraft, you can't buy Minecraft and go play it offline. You can't go play Call of Duty offline and expect us to, you know, be happy about that. No, we're going to take that away from you. We're going to remove split screen. We're going to make it so you have to be chronically online so we can throw more advertisements in your face. I think this is one of the worst things in modern gaming today, but we'll stay on topic with Call of Duty. But look, it's criminal, and I think most players kind of get annoyed at the fact you can't play offline, especially you can't even pause Black Ops 7's campaign because it's online. Bug Central. Every update breaks something, every patch introduces a new glitch, and basic features just die and stop working. Error codes pop up, like pop-up ads on illegal movie websites, and the franchise is literally held together with duct tape. I mean, just one prime example, going back to Black Ops 6, dev error 14220. Those that have followed my channel for a while, I had that for the full year. I couldn't complete a hardpoint game. If a hardpoint game went on for too long, I got kicked out and got dev error 14220, and a lot of people got this as well. It was unfixable. The whole year. You look at Vanguard, was the same situation. You had errors every single day. The game had more broken issues. And they just don't want to address it. They don't want to fix them. I think they just half-ass it and rush it. It's like, oh, this entire metal beam is collapsing. Let me get some Pritt stick glue and just quickly glue it, instead of actually welding it back. That's how they deal with their problems regarding bugs. Warzone prioritized over multiplayer. This is a biggie, absolute biggie. This might be one of the biggest problems. Multiplayer used to be the core of COD. Now it's treated more like a side hustle on the side mode of Warzone. Maps are rushed. They are definitely designed around brain rot. The updates are minimal. Everything is designed to funnel players back into Warzone where the bundles sell better. It's business first, fun second. And you look at how they've tailored the game over the last 5-6 years. Everything is Warzone. Zombies is Warzone. Multiplayer is Warzone. Warzone is Warzone. Now campaign is Warzone. Everything has armor plates. Everything is everything. They're trying to make the game literally be Warzone because that's where they apparently sell the most stuff. And I think it's one of the biggest downfalls of Call of Duty because they never made it its own entity and basically said Call of Duty is Warzone. Lying to the community and broken promises. Every year they promise us the world and every year it's a rug pull. You think of what they've done with Black Ops 7. We're getting rid of skill-based matchmaking. And yet everyone still thinks it's in, and then they put a post out that they're keeping in some kind of skill-based 2 days before launch. Yeah, okay. Now, how I value the community of COD these days is very minimal compared to what it was 10-15 years ago. The community was the heart and soul of what made this game big. Creators get treated like tools. You look at COD Next when Dalek... Mr. Dalek JD was doing, who is a zombies content creator, by the way, was playing zombies. And some Activision guy comes up, puts his arm around him, and goes,
"Come join us in Verdansk. We miss you. We need you. I am.
But let's just go back to when, I think it was Black Ops 3 or 4, when Milo, aka Mr. Ruffwaffles, went to play zombies at the event. And the dev came over and was sat asking him questions. Are you enjoying it? I'm happy you're enjoying it. And he praised him for playing it. It's not the same community anymore because it's not a community, it's a business. That's how they treat it. It's kind of insane that they are willing to put their practices that shady and go and do stuff like this to creators. It feels manipulative. The relationship between Activision and community is purely transactional. That's all it is now. It used to be different. I mean, Treyarch were basically widely known for supporting the competitive scene and making the maps great, making the games fun and all this, and now... I mean, I don't think they have that choice because of Activision. So I think people are struggling to understand why Activision are doing what they're doing. Because they don't know it themselves. They just want money. Disbanding lobbies. This one hurts, I can't lie. Finally, we've got them back to a degree now. But old school lobbies were legendary. Trash talk, rivalries, running it back against the same team. Now, Game ends, lobby disbands, player's guide. Now, Black Ops 7 has sort of brought this back, and I'm very happy for that, and I'm thankful. But they intentionally removed the social interaction side of things from COD, which used to be alive with personality, and now it's silent. People always say, well, it would help if people talked in game chat. Do you want to know why people don't? Because there's a text chat, and everyone who's anyone now talks absolute trash, and it's all through text. They don't use voice, they just do it on text because they can hide. That's why most people do it. I think COD should never have had a text chat. I know it's easier because people don't have a mic, but, I mean, it's 2025. If you don't have a mic, go get one. Come on. But I think that is a big reason why the disbanding lobbies was up for debate, because people weren't too bothered in a way. They were sort of pissed about it and upset and pissed off, but it wasn't as bad because most people don't talk anyway. That's my take on the text chat and the voice chat. But the fact that they got rid of the social aspect kind of showed where their head was at and which direction they were going a good while ago, that they didn't care about the community side at all. Not for the players. Activision designs COD to serve metrics like retention and engagement. And it used to be fun, creativity, and community building. But as talented as some of the devs actually might be, we don't get to see any of that because the corporate decisions smother the passion out of the product. There is no fun features anymore. It has to be, no, what we say goes. If you remember a few years ago, IW, Infinity Ward, came out and said, no, you don't know what you want. We know what you want. Don't listen to yourselves. Trust in us. And then they delivered two of possibly the worst CODs of all time. So, yeah, not going to say much more on that point. AI slop. The more AI they push, the more creativity disappears. From voice lines to animations to QA testing to map generation. We don't want AI shortcuts, bro. We want real passion from real developers. You think of the best maps of all time, the standoffs, the raids, the high-rises, the skid rows, things like that, all designed by passionate developers and probably gamers themselves. AI doesn't have the passion or the, obviously, mind, because it's not a person. So it designs weird-ass small maps like Babylon from Black Ops 6 that just feel awful and feel trashy. So AI literally hit the ground running, apparently, according to these, and by these I mean Activision, last year, and they were putting images on screen generated by AI where the Santa Claus zombie guy had 6 fingers, which is a common AI mistake. Yet they still put faith in AI and refuse to not use AI for artwork. If they want to use it for other stuff, okay, sure, but artwork? Really? $70 for a DLC. The moment Modern Warfare 3 2023 dropped, it was like, okay, yes, this is really good compared to last year, but it's basically an expansion pack pretending to be a new game. Something just felt the same, but off at the same time. Fans lost trust, creators called it out, the community felt betrayed. This was the ultimate proof that Activision cares more about yearly revenue than quality. Modern Warfare 3 is what we should have got from Modern Warfare 2. Everyone was speculating we're going to get all the Modern Warfare 2 2009 remastered maps. We didn't. We got awful maps, awful modes, one of the worst games of all time, the worst attachment system ever, the worst UI ever. And then next year we got everything that we should have had. So, yeah, $70 for a DLC is not a great way to treat your fanbase. COD HQ. This one just pains me every time I start the game up. COD HQ was introduced probably about 5-6 years ago, where all the Call of Duty games, all the latest Call of Duty games, are all in one place. You boot it up and it's called Call of Duty. You then get hit with a Netflix advertisement, like you're looking at billboards, showing off all the other games. So you have to navigate to the one you want. Now, on paper, the idea of being able to just choose which game you want, sure, I get that. But the COD HQ app is buggy, it's slow, it's terrible, and it's just a walking advertisement. I miss putting in a game disc, right, and booting it up, or just downloading the game and playing it, and it having its own menu, its own theme straight away, not having to close. I mean, let's think about it. You boot up COD HQ, what happens? You select your game, it then has to close COD HQ, then it has to boot up and load the game you want, and then you get update requires restart. So that's 3 things that happen before you even get to play the game, which probably takes roughly 2 or 3 minutes to actually get on the game and play. And then take into consideration when skill-based matchmaking has been really bad, you're looking at sometimes another few minutes to get in the game. So, yeah, COD HQ, in my opinion, is one of the worst features they ever added. It needs to go. I feel like they have slowly started to remove some of the games off there, but in my opinion, as long as that's still in the game, and still like the game itself, where you have to go through one platform, which then has to close to open another platform, then close to open another platform. It's very counterintuitive, and I think the players are very fed up with it. You look all over social media, Twitter, or X, whatever, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, people talk about this saying, can we just get rid of it? And again, they don't want to do that, because they want to push as much advertisement as they can for their other games. So, yeah, not a good way to basically market all of your games in one place, especially when the last 6 years have all been really bad games. Removing game modes. There's another huge piece to Call of Duty's downfall that just doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. The slow removal of classic game modes. Call of Duty used to have variety, a playlist for every type of player, and I mean, you think of these game modes: Demolition, Sabotage, Capture the Flag, Headquarters, Bare Bones, Ground War. Classic modes that really define the game itself and add such variety. And then we got given party modes in Black Ops 1, like Sticks and Stones, Sharpshooter, and One in the Chamber. Now we get like 8 to 10 modes that basically get rotated in and out like seasonal produce, and it doesn't feel very fun. The fact that we can't go onto a game and want to play a mode that is the pinnacle of competitive gaming, such as Capture the Flag, because it's not there anymore. And it just seems kind of weird. So, the question, why are we removing game modes that have been in the series for over a decade? And how do you go for one of the most diverse multiplayer experiences in gaming to Team Deathmatch, but we'll give you a twist and we'll turn it off next Tuesday? I mean, Capture the Flag used to be the competitive staple. One of the most strategic modes the series ever had. It was one of the biggest ones in Halo, and it defined competitive gaming. Sabotage, the constant action version of Search and Destroy, that's now gone. You know, World at War, playing Castle, playing Sabotage, great. Demolition, fan favourite, one on Black Ops 2, loved it. High-paced, perfect for streaks, gone. What do we get in return? Now that they're all gone, what happens? We get quick play filters. A mode selector that sometimes doesn't even include half the modes it advertises and is buggy, and it's full of skill-based matchmaking. Removing modes shrinks the game, reduces replayability, and makes the multiplayer feel like copy and paste every match. But Activision figured something out. The few modes that exist, it's easier to funnel players into the same playlist, which makes matchmaking faster, which makes skill-based matchmaking easier to manage, which keeps the retention numbers high, and also keeps the bank account happy for the investors. Removing modes was not an accident. It was intentional. It's for metrics, and it's not for fun. Imagine being a franchise with 20 years of iconic modes, and your decision is, the players probably didn't like them, delete. The truth is, Call of Duty didn't just lose game modes, it lost identity when they decided to take out the classics. When the playlists died, the heart of the multiplayer died with them. Map design. Call of Duty used to have some of the most memorable map designs of all of gaming. Maps that weren't just arenas, they were locations. Terminal, Raid, Standoff, Firing Range, High-Rise, Summit, Skid Row, just to name a few. Every map felt handcrafted. Every map had personality, and it had flow. You could name a map and instantly visualize every corner of it in your mind. But modern COD, they felt like someone clicked generate level in an AI tool and just kind of went home early and didn't care. The 3 lanes that are so predictable, it's just kind of embarrassing. Safe choke points, no verticality, and no soul. It's like they're scared of fun, scared of creativity, scared that if a map is even slightly unique, someone on Reddit will complain about balance. And instead, they're fixing the map design. Activision took the most depressing shortcut in gaming, recycled maps, and over again, Shipment for the 40th time, Rust again, Terminal again, High-Rise again. We love these maps, okay? That's the biggest thing. We absolutely adore these maps. It's not that they're bad, we absolutely adore them. But it's not a replacement for new content. Recycle maps should be a bonus, not an entire map pack. Map design used to define Call of Duty. Now it feels like corporate afterthought. I mean, you think of Black Ops 7, we've got Hijack, we've got Raid, we've got Express, and 3 of the best maps of all time, in my opinion. And just for fun. And it's like, I would rather sit and play them all day than play Black Ops 6 maps, but can we get something new that makes us in a few years' time say, oh, I missed that? And it becomes the new Raid, it becomes the new Hijack. That's what a lot of the map design is missing. And obviously, last year, it felt all AI generated. Horrible spawns. Spawn system in classic COD were far from perfect, don't get me wrong, but they were at least predictable. You can understand the flow of the map and control the spawns through gameplay, hence the competitiveness of Hardpoint. In modern COD, you spawn in the equivalent of a Warzone burst pipe. The game spawns you into gunfire, into a guy's ADS, into an exploding grenade, into a claymore, sometimes directly behind the enemy that just killed you, and it's chaos. But not the kind of fun chaos. How is it that a billion-dollar franchise in its 20th year still can't figure out a spawn system? I've played free-to-play indie shooters coded in basements that have better spawns. Why does the game think it's okay to spawn me in someone's line of sight? It makes no sense. It kills the flow, it kills the person, and it kills any sense of fairness. Spawns should be invisible, not the headline of every match. Forced crossplay. During Modern Warfare 2 and 3 with the hacking situation, crossplay could have been one of the worst inventions of all time. Now, it also could have been one of the greatest of all time going back when it first came out. For years, we all talked about it, but instead, Activision managed to even ruin that. Console players didn't want to play against PC cheaters, and they didn't want to have to deal with the mouse and keyboard players snapping 180 degrees instantly either. They wanted a fair experience for their input type. But if you disable crossplay, the game punishes you with longer queue times and fewer modes. So, why are console players forced to eat PC lobbies like it's the daily special? Why is it crossplay like an ultimatum instead of an option? Like, let the people choose. That's all they have to do. Instead, they forced everyone into a blender and acted surprised when the community rebelled. They had taken away the option to turn off crossplay just to screw over the console players. Like, the decision-making for that, I cannot process to this day. Menus. Let's talk about the menus. Good lord, the menus. You click on something, it takes 2 seconds to load, tabs stutter, scrolling lags, half the interface is built like a shopping mall ad board. It's just, it's horrible. Like, to change a setting, you've got to go through 16 different nested menus. Good luck finding it, by the way, because I still can't. It's a AAA shooter. Why does the menu run like it was coded for PowerPoint? Why does the UI feel like it's actively fighting me, and why do I spend more time navigating all the other pages than the thing I'm actually looking for? Menus shouldn't be this complicated, they shouldn't be laggy, and they definitely shouldn't be designed to shove bundles in your face instead of helping you play the game. Using Modern Warfare 2, for example, trying to navigate the menu just to go into multiplayer, bro, my brain had to learn science, it had to learn mathematics, it had to use it's other parts of the brain that don't even activate unless certain things happen. Oh, it was horrible. And so many people just had the same issue, where they couldn't find things they were looking for. Removing community features. One of the saddest losses in modern COD is the removal of community features. And I don't mean like voice chat or lobbies, I mean the tools that let players express themselves and be different and really engage with the social aspect. Custom emblems, clan tags, clan systems, player card showcases, special hubs, social hubs, the ability to feel like they're part of something. These features weren't just cosmetic, they were cultural. Your clan tag meant something. For those that remember growing up with clan tags just like me, you felt some pride having that clan tag. The emblem was you, the showcase was your identity, and it showed yourself off in the community. Now, everything's replaced by store skins, your personality is reduced to whatever bundle you're willing to pay for, everything unique and expressed was removed because it didn't make money. Clan systems, gone. Emblem editor, gone. Player expression, killed off quietly. Call of Duty used to feel like a community, now it feels like a checkout counter. And let's use the custom emblems, right? We all know you couldn't get away with that today because of all the explicit stuff and horrible things that you could do with it. But there's a perfect opportunity for them to justify using AI. Why not use an AI system that tracks what you do when you're creating an emblem, and if it's deemed offensive or racist or anything, or sexual, it can ban it and say, no, you cannot use this. And you get a certain amount of strikes and says, look, you're not going to be able to use the editor if you continue. Perfect use for AI. I think that would really drive the AI argument for it to be in the game, and people would understand and say, okay, yeah, we get our custom emblems back. Black Ops 2, I used to have my ZG logo for Zoid Gaming or Zoid Flame on my gun, and it used to feel so cool to run around. People going, looking at my emblem, saying, oh, this guy's part of a clan, he has the youtube.com/whatever, twitch.com, or justin.tv back in the day. Like, it's crazy. That is their golden opportunity to test the AI in that water, and they haven't done it. They haven't brought that back. The clan system, same thing. Something I thought was cool, look at how big apps are on mobile phones, like cellular stuff now. Think back to 2012 when you had to download the COD Elite app and you got a free camo and stuff. Give me something like this back that involves the community being involved with the community. Overly complex progression systems. Call of Duty used to have the cleanest progression system in gaming. Level up, unlock guns, prestige, repeat. Simple, addicting, perfect. Now, progression looks like a spreadsheet vomited all over the UI. Battle passes, prestige keys, seasonal levels, daily challenges, weapon trees, armor unlocks, store blueprints, aftermarket parts, tokens, XP boosts. It's like they try to ruin COD and just turn it into a bit of like Destiny and forgot what made COD great. I mean, you look at some of the things I just said about the seasonal stuff. I personally have never liked the seasonal updates. I miss DLC. I do. I genuinely do, because I feel like ever since the seasonal stuff became in and it's free, the quality's gone downhill. At least with DLC, you were buying it and it was worth it. You know, you think of all the map packs we bought back in the day with the older Call of Duties, with the DLC maps they did. They were great. New Zombies maps, great. Why do I need a degree in economics just to unlock a red dot side? Why are there 17 different progression systems that all reset at different times? Why is half my progression tied to the store? Progression used to make you feel excited to keep playing. Now it feels more like a chore. When people say COD feels like homework, this is what they're talking about. Call of Duty didn't die from one bad update, or one bad game, or one bad decision. It died from 1,000 cuts. Cuts caused by greed, shortcuts, broken promises, and the complete misunderstanding of what made COD special in the first place. The community. You look at any business, any corporate business. I mean, McDonald's, Burger King, you know, like food places like that, or Coca-Cola or anything. They only get big because the customers. It's the same with gaming. The consumer is what makes you big. And if you want to detach yourself and not listen to what the community say, this is what happens. You die off slowly, and sometimes it gets faster and faster and faster, and then that's it. The sad part is the franchise could still be incredible. If Activision listened, they rebuilt trust, if they put players before shareholders, and if they focused on fun instead of metrics. Because the community hasn't given up, the people in charge have. Maybe one day, if enough players speak out, COD can rise again, and we saw that with Black Ops 6. One of the worst CODs, if not the worst COD of all time, and look how many people boycotted it. The player numbers just disappeared, disintegrated. People were fed up, they were sick, they didn't want to play it anymore, and, you know, it worked. Then Battlefield comes out with the beta, and it forces COD to do stuff. The proof is there that we can have change. The proof is there that we can go back to make the games good, but not without a voice. We all have to voice our opinions. I've stressed this for the last year on my channel alone, and tipped credit to Blame Truth and Prime Pete, Nero Cinema, Exclusive, all these people that, and even people I don't know, people with lack of subscribers, like 100 subs, 10, 5 subs, 1 sub. I don't care. If you go out your way to voice your opinion about the mess that is Call of Duty because you want it to go back to being good, then I praise you and I respect you, because you are trying to build something up and repair it. People say, oh, why'd you care? Just find a new game. It's not about that. People who say that don't understand. They probably have games that they like that we don't like, and we could say the same thing. If you are passionate about something and you like something that you grew up playing, obviously you want to see what's best. That's why I do the Call of Duty rants and do all the COD rants every day near enough at this point. It becomes apparent that people are now starting to really see the cracks and the flaws in the armor that is Activision's. We're too big to fail. And we're finally speaking up, and we have got some good changes. But is that enough? No. Black Ops 7 right now, the Steam numbers alone are doing really bad. And people who say, oh, you can't use Steam. Yes, you can. Black Ops 6 came out, it had 300,000 players on Steam at launch. It's barely broke 100k on Black Ops 7's launch. What does that tell you? It's not good. But remember what it used to be, and keep hoping that we can be there again with all of them great memories from Machinima, which is obviously very controversial with what they did, but I don't mean the actual company, I just mean that era of a community-based thing where people are doing content like that, from the montages to the MLG days, you know, like, again, going into the CDL, what Activision have done with that, prioritizing the franchising and ruining the competitive scene. All of this is just calculated on their end, and they have done everything they can to make every amount of drop penny money they can, and it's completely ruined what the game is, the experience. Everything to do with Call of Duty now is worse than it was 10-15 years ago. But until we get back to where we were, I guess we just got to keep speaking up. I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little rant documentary thing, and there's probably more issues, but those are the ones that really stand out to me. Obviously, there are probably more that I've just forgot, but yeah. Hopefully you guys agree and see all of these issues and think, oh my god, I didn't realize there's so many. I was writing this list, I was like, oh my god, dude, there's so many problems with this game. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and a sub if you're new, as always. It helps out a ton. And if you've made it this far in the video, massive respect and appreciation to you. And I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.